Welcome to second episode, Coach G Radio. So today I went on about a 4-hour walk, and again, during that walk, my phone died like it did last Saturday, and that allowed me to be with my own thoughts. Not listening to an audiobook, just kind of walking and allowing things to come to me, things to think about. And what I'm about to talk about are those things. So I walked barefoot about halfway through that 4-hour walk, and when I had gotten to a place I wanted to stop, which was my first and only stop of the walk. I was there for about 10 minutes, just laid down, and when I got up, put my wet socks on because they were wet from the dewy grass, and I put those on, and I put my shoes on, and I started walking, and my muscles in my lower limbs were tight, and my feet were kind of immobile. They were pretty cold and pretty not willing to move. And I started walking, and I'm like, I chose to come out this far. The journey was beautiful coming out here. To look at it as a chore to go back is the wrong way to look at it. So I was seeing myself feel this, and then I thought about how I'm not living it, living the whole, enjoy the process, love the process. So I started looking at it as when I get home, I can rest, relax, reload, recharge. I hadn't eaten yet, and it was going to be about 10 o'clock by the time I had gotten back. Got up at 4, so I was hungry. But when I switched it to that delayed gratification thought, I got some energy. And this is where the thoughts started to take their own path. And one of the first things that I started thinking about was the start. And usually with people, the start is what stops people the most. But sometimes people can get started and then get stopped after they start. So getting started is very difficult for people, and some people don't even, begin. They get excited about starting, but they get scared and they don't. But again, there's other people that get started. It's instantly gratifying to get started because you're seeing growth. It feels good. You're excited because you're growing. But then you start to climb. And the climb involves work. And it can become monotonous. It's not as exciting as the start where you're full of energy. It can become painful and boring and drudge work. We can become tired and we want to rest. And this is the time to recall our why. Why did we start this climb? Our why is our home. That was what I was talking about before. I can recharge when I get home. But I can't sit on the side of the road and feel sorry for myself. I need to walk back. So our why is our home. But when we cease to take these small steps towards our why, these tiny baby steps of action, we begin to slowly decay, and we come up with explanations for our stopping. We need to take a break. This or that came up. But really, we're making excuses. Explanations as to why we didn't do it, which become masks for excuses. And this slow decay starts to smell. it begins to have an unbearable stench. It's foul like the skunk on the side of the road that's been laying there for days. But we can also stop that stench by making those baby action steps towards our real home, our why. It's far easier to do that, to take those small steps when you're tired and remind yourself of why you're taking those small steps. It's far easier to do that than it is to stop and then rest. Because far often, this rest turns into a permanent stopping point, and we go back into our fake home, our comfort zone. And this fake home, this comfort zone, it lies to us, and it comes in many forms, with relationships, people we associate with, poor habits, explanations for why we didn't do what we said we would. And then we start to thicken the plaster for our mask we show to the world. The stench starts to gain in our fake home. Our comfort zone becomes unbearable. But we mask this foul smell, this thing we cover up. That's not our real home. It's not our why. It's our fake home where our comfort zone lies. We mask this foul smell with Febreze. It tricks those around us and it takes care of it immediately. It instantly gratifies us in that it takes away, albeit for a short time, the unbearable smell of our slow decay. And it's a decay that has come as the result of stopping, of inaction, of going back to our fake home. You let this go on long enough and we start to think this is who we really are. But there are times when reality is going to hit us and this regret will start to become unbearable. And we run out of Febreze. The mask will become so thick that there's no room for any more plaster. And we'll be stripped down to our core, naked and afraid, decayed down to the core, smelling like rotten apples, kept in a cupboard for years and years. And this could be remedied by simply acting, by reminding ourselves of why we started at the beginning. He who has a why can bear any how. Your why is your real home. Your how is the understanding of the role delayed gratification has in your ability to complete the small whats. Again, your why is your real home. Your how is the understanding of the role delayed gratification has in your ability to complete the small whats. Your whats are the baby action steps. The delayed gratification is your cue to summons up the courage and innate energy reserves within you to continue back home towards your why. Once you develop this relationship with delayed gratification, and understanding its larger purpose and utility, you can begin to utilize it to your advantage. You see it for what it truly is. It's a cue to get you started, a tool to activate the energy within you to make small baby steps of action forward. Keep moving forward using your force of will. Remember why you started. Avoid the instant gratification and see it for what it truly is. Instant gratification is your enemy. It resides in your fake home, your comfort zones. And we must know our enemy totally. Understanding that it is an amateur and you are a professional, or at least you want to be. And the amateur will scream and beg and cry and be obnoxious to grab your attention and bring you into the fake home, your comfort zones. It will take you off of your path, causing you to rest, telling you it's okay. If you can understand your enemy, you can guard against it and realize what it's trying to do. And you can use your force of will to move away from the fake home and towards your real home, your why. Because you don't have much time. Your days are numbered. You will be dead soon. You'll be rotting away soon enough. So instead of decaying while you are alive, choose growth. Make progress towards your goals. Water the plants. Tend to the garden. Shine light on your life. You're meant to shine, to smell beautifully, to use your gifts after returning home to your why, to share with the world. Jeff Osterman said, "There's nothing more powerful than a humble person with a warrior spirit who is driven by a bigger purpose." Your comfort zone, your fake home, it stinks, but it doesn't stink right away because it's slow and decaying, and it's not readily seen. But after years and years of staying there, you start to have a big, big pile of regret. And this regret takes many forms. Along the way, you start to become anxious and stressed and paralyzed by analyzing everything and overthinking, and maybe even depression. And you may start to take pills to mask these things to help the symptom. But really, for a lot of us, we stopped moving forward. We started using explanations for why we didn't get to where we wanted to get, to why we stopped, to why we did not accomplish what we set out to do. And the truth is, either you didn't remember your why, you didn't have a why, or you forgot about it. And if you forgot about it, it's as easy as remembering why and taking the action. But a lot of people, we know what we need to do. We know the action that we need to take. But we just want to sit here in our fake home with our mask on, and watch the presidential election, and watch Netflix, and complain and blame and make excuses about why we're not where we're at or where we want to be at. Small baby steps every day add up. But you must be willing to give up the things that instantly gratify you to get there. I'll say it again. You don't have much time. You will be dead soon. We all will be dead soon. Burned up or buried. What are you going to leave behind? Because a lot of us could leave behind many, many, many beautiful things for other people to build upon. Because we have many talents and gifts, and we could cultivate many more talents and gifts if we put in the work. Because there's something in each of us to give, but it requires a lot of work. Self-mastery, of mastery of oneself, and it takes a long time, and it takes sometimes unbearable drudgery and monotony, but it's worth it. Keep moving forward. Nothing more powerful than a humble person with a warrior spirit who's driven by a bigger purpose. So when you get started, and it's exciting, what are you going to do when the mountain, when the hill, when the summit seemingly doesn't end, and your legs feel tired, and you feel hungry, and you just want to break? What are you going to do? Because if you can choose to delay your gratification, remember your why, it will give you energy. You will activate that energy inside of you to keep on moving forward. I did it in a very, very, very minuscule way today when I was walking. But I truly believe it transfers to any task and any situation in life. Remember your home. Travel back to your home, your soul, where it all makes sense to you inside. And just do the work. Thank you for listening.